Hey everybody, I'm Paul.
And I'm Andrew.
And welcome back to the Fan Voice. We are here to talk about the recent new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake, played at PlayStation Experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure everyone was flipping their lid because I'm sure a lot of us assumed that this was a teaser to something that was so far beyond anything near completion kind of thing.
Square Enix does this a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just drop a teaser and then in 2 years...
And then not say anything about it.
And then in 2 years, you'll hear from us again. Yeah. But instead, a couple months later...
we are treated to a theatrical teaser of one of the first sequences of Final Fantasy VII, along with a little bit of gameplay.
Yeah.
And at first glance, it looks like real-time action.
Right.
And has a very similar command menu to Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
But Final Fantasy XV originally seemed to go in that same direction.
Yeah.
But there was a few alterations to it. One of the biggest things being you have to hold a button to do a sequence of attacks.
Right.
Which is why I think we really have to hold our breath when it comes to a real-time main Final Fantasy game, because they have been very, very, not thrilled to go in that direction, you know?
Yeah. There's always elements of... I guess there's always RPG elements, is the best way to put it.
I guess, yeah.
Always kind of a weird turn-based element.
But the thing is, they won't go back to original turn-based either.
They're always trying the hybrid, it looks like.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe you hear different, but I always hear that not working out that well.
Yeah.
The mass as a whole isn't thrilled with any of those hybrid things.
Right. Just do a real-time action game.
Right.
That's what most people think. Now, a lot of people are saying that this, and it definitely uses the Final Fantasy 15 engine. Basically, I think what they've done is they've taken what they did for 15, and they put in the assets for 7. Graphics-wise.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I don't mind that at all. I don't know if that's what they've done with the gameplay or not. Because I haven't seen... from what I've seen from 15, this looks different to me.
Yeah. I can't imagine, a camping to restore magic asset in the Final Fantasy VII game.
Yeah, there's just weird stuff like that where I'm I'm not sure that that's what they're going to do. Yeah,
so there was a couple other things we were talking about that it could be besides just real-time and besides just Final Fantasy 15 stuff as well. There was also the possibility of, you set your person on a command and then you switch to another person, because we did see a brief switch to Barret in the trailer.
We saw the player controlling Barret.
Right.
Which says to me that it looks a little different. And that you see, it seems like you switch between them.
Yeah.
And then maybe, from what we were talking about a little bit earlier, could be that you leave, when you switch, you leave your cursor on one of those commands.
Right.
In the bottom, the menu in the bottom left.
The biggest hinting to that being that, you have the regular, the Kingdom Hearts menu, basically, attack, magic, summon, and then items, and then defend on the bottom, which could encourage that, leave them on defend, kind of thing.
Right. And it could also encourage, using defend in combat.
Right.
Just a blocking stature that blocks all damage. But we haven't seen enough.
Right, exactly.
To really know.
So it's not concrete yet. These are just a few theories of what it could be based on, I guess, the visuals, but also just the past experiences of the Final Fantasy legacy thus far.
Yeah.
So, but outside of the gameplay, I think it's nothing but positive after that.
No, seriously. The gameplay is the only part where I'm not sure.
There are questions there.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything else, I love this. So the graphics the characters look great. They really brought them to life in a great way. And like I said, they're definitely using Final Fantasy 15, the most latest engine.
Yes.
They put all the assets in there.
Yeah.
The greatest part to me was the city, though.
Right.
There was a little kind of showing him running through the city, and it looks really good.
Right. It looks like one of these no loading zone kind of world.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And just the angle is really important too, because in the original Final Fantasy, it was an overhead view of everything, pretty much.
Yeah.
But in this, you're like at ground level with Cloud, and you actually feel like you're in a city. You're just one person stacked against an entire army, kind of thing.
Yeah. And one of my favorite parts was they showed him like squeezing through gaps of rubble. So like the city is it looks very war torn, and then he runs by and there's like a crashed car or something on a street, and the sign on one of the, like, it looked like a movie theater was blinking in and out. It really looked like it was a little bit more like gritty, I guess is the best word for it, and it immediately gave it a lot more character than what I'm used to for Final Fantasy. If you want to know the truth,
right?
Final Fantasy is clean. It's perfect. Like, everything from 13, I'm just like, wow. So, like, do you guys just have robots to clean up all your trash and nothing is wrong? And this one, like, you immediately get, like, oppressive military, rebels, war-torn city, like, you know, people living in poverty.
And I think that's one of the things that really set Final Fantasy VII apart from the other series, really, because before it was like strictly medieval kind of stuff,
right?
And then 6 started to bend that trend, and then 7 took it into this other direction where it's all slums and blah 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 and all of that. Yeah. But then after that, we started moving towards like unbelievable fantasy, thing, and those places are very clean. But I think that's one of the more drawing points of Final Fantasy VII is this could be a real place, you know. There are slums everywhere and poverty. And
right.
It's very relatable in that sense. Yeah, no, and you really can see it so much better with these graphics, like what they're trying to push forward, you know?
Yeah. So all of that, just aesthetic and environment-wise, I was like,
it's
all right. I want to play it.
So good. Yeah.
I really do.
Beautiful graphics, and they had an orchestrated version of that first invasion of that sector in Midgar. The nostalgia rushes hard. But like, as we were saying before, because of the revamped graphics, I think this will, and since it's been so long in the future, this is going to bring in a whole new generation on its own.
Yeah, and
this remake.
I think that's what they're going for is, you know, you could do a turn-based, just go full turn-based strategy. But like we were talking about earlier, it might be kind of weird to a new generation that's like ultra-realistic characters and then there's turn-based fighting.
I'm still personally iffy on that.
Yeah. No, and it's true.
Because like the one tool that like really got me going was the warm-up bar. I always talk to you about this.
Yeah. Right.
That brings the energy a lot better, but it still shows like visually stagnant people standing kind of thing, which is the tough part about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely what they're trying to do is they're trying to get people who are used to action games and bring them into the series. And I mean, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, I don't think there's a reason for you not to pick up the game. It's playing one of your favorite games of all time, most likely, because there are a lot of people that love this game.
Right.
It's playing one of your most favorite games with new gameplay.
Yeah. And
that could be really fresh.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're bringing the old one to PS4 and it'll still be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. You know, I mean, I kind of, when this first was released, we were talking really heavily about we don't want them to change the gameplay. And then, I don't know, I've warmed to that idea. And after seeing it in action, I really warmed with it.
Yeah.
We don't know everything, so parts of that could still very worry me.
I'd just be let down if they turn to another hybrid thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think they really need to commit to one way or another, you know?
And I think in some ways it will be a hybrid, like switching between characters, ordering your party members around. I just want to know how much.
Exactly.
So, I want to know if it's actually Final Fantasy or if it's more of an action game.
Right.
So, so yeah, that's Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Of the trailer.
Let us know what you guys think. If you're fans of the game and you're disappointed with the way it looks like the gameplay's going, or you want to just geek out about the graphics with us because, good God, it looks amazing.
If you can sincerely find a way to complain about the graphics, I wouldn't even be mad.
I wouldn't be mad.
I would be intrigued.
I would just tip my
would
hat
find
and be
way.
like, all right. I'm impressed. I'm thoroughly impressed. Because, it looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, tell us what you guys think. You can find us at facebook.com/thefanboyspodcast.
youtube.com/thefanboyspodcast.
Twitter at fanboyspodcast.
google.com/+thefanboyspodcast.
There we go. Our email, fan@thefanboys.com.
And our website, thefanboys.com, where you can find news, reviews, articles, and all that awesome stuff.
All right. So we will see you guys next time.
Later.